Hey, Salvador Briggman here. Welcome back to the Crowdfunding Demystified YouTube channel. And today we're talking about how Indiegogo works. If you're wondering how to use Indiegogo to raise funds, we're getting into that today. How does Indiegogo work if you're interested in using crowdfunding in order to raise funds? And it's coming up right after this. All right, man, so my name is Salvador again. I've been in the industry since 2012, and I want to talk a little bit about Indiegogo and specifically how this can work for you. So let's kind of go through a couple of high-level things when it comes to understanding this crowdfunding website, actually one of the first crowdfunding websites in existence, and we can talk about that a little bit today. So first of all, let's talk about what you need when it comes to an Indiegogo campaign. So every single campaign fits into a category, okay? A category. Now, categories are kind of almost like industries or niches or subjects, if you want to think of it that way. Whatever you're creating, let's just say you're creating a new board game, or you're creating a new comic book, or you're creating a new technology gadget or a gizmo or a new book that you've written, or you're putting on a film project, you're trying to raise money for a film project, right? It needs to fit into some kind of a category on Indiegogo. And they kind of do it a little bit differently on Indiegogo than Kickstarter. So I'm going to just read out very quickly some of these different categories. First of all, you have tech and innovation, which is sort of at the top here and one of their strong categories. Then you have creative categories, okay? And then you have community projects. So we're gonna write this out just so that you guys are aware. Kind of trifecta here. We have tech, we're just gonna tech/innovation, you know. We have creative projects, right? We got things that are creative in nature. And then we have more of community projects, okay? Now, depending on what you're doing, that might instantly provide you clarity. If not, I'm just gonna very quickly read off a couple of categories. And honestly, there are a lot of subcategories here, so I need to kind of read this off. Number one, audio, camera gear, education, energy and tech, food, health, home, transportation, travel, outdoors, everything going into tech and innovation. Creative categories, art, comics, film, music, photography, podcasts, video games, etc. There's a lot more going into the creative category. Community projects, culture, environment, human rights, local businesses, and wellness. So think of these just branching out even more, where they have even more subcategories that go into these major kind of divisional categories, okay? So what you're gonna do first of all is go to Indiegogo.com and just browse through their homepage and look at some of these different types of projects that fall into different categories. If you are trying to, or thinking about doing an Indiegogo campaign or using crowdfunding in order to raise money for your dream, for your project, for your passion, for a new business, whatever it is, a new product that you're coming out into the world, make sure to go and check this out on Indiegogo and just get an idea of like, what does your category look like, okay? Kind of get a little bit of a sense of that. So first of all, there is the category which you fit in. Number two, let's talk about crowdfunding, right? And what does that really mean with an Indiegogo campaign and how does this work? So first of all, in order to get anyone to buy into your idea, to support you, to become a backer, to pledge money, to include perks and rewards, all the kinds of stuff we talk about with crowdfunding, they need to be able to be exposed to the project that you are doing, right? So let's talk about the campaign page really quickly. So when you do a Indiegogo project, it's called a campaign. And we kind of word it that way for a certain number of reasons, but that campaign will have things like a video, a pitch video. It will have sometimes high-res images. So we'll say images. It will also have copy, which is also known as writing on the actual page. And it will also have other things that we call perks or rewards, okay? So my handwriting is atrocious, man. I'm sorry about that. I did not pass my handwriting classes, I guess, in school, and we type so much anyway nowadays. But this is video, high resolution images, copy, writing, and also rewards. Okay, so you're gonna need a video. Most likely you're gonna have a video. There are some kind of categories, for example, comic books that won't always have a video when it comes to Indiegogo. For most categories out there, you're gonna need a video on your campaign page. So what you're kind of doing here, you're going into a marketplace, you're going to a community, and you're going to this community with this really interesting project that you've been working on, right? And in order to get people to buy into this, to support it, right? To maybe even give you funding for it, you need to convince them of that. So your campaign video is the one primary thing that people see before they actually go and check out the rest of your campaign. With that video, you kind of prime them a little bit, and then they go and they can learn more about your actual campaign throughout the campaign page. And also check out your rewards, which I'll get into in a little bit. Because your campaign page is gonna probably have some text, like I talked about here, some images, and those kinds of different attributes and media assets when it comes to an Indiegogo campaign. So you wanna think of Indiegogo as a platform, right? As a community, as an ecosystem, if you will, of people who are regularly backing and checking out cool new stuff. When it comes to the campaign, this is what you are launching into that community. It's gonna have video possibly, images, copy, all that kind of stuff. The question is, okay, if this is a campaign, how long is it being run, right? How does this really work, all right? So let's talk about that next. So these are what I call variables, okay? So these are the variables of the campaign. There is duration, there's your goal, funding goal, and then I would say either you're doing, we could talk a little bit about that funding goal. I guess I'll put that there in a second. So duration, first of all, you're running the actual campaign. How long are you running this thing for? Are you running it for 15 days, for 30 days, for 60 days? Whatever it is, there's some kind of a duration in which you are raising money. Now, I have so many videos out there. You gotta go check them out. So many videos out there talking about exactly why you need a duration when it comes to this. Creates urgency, creates tremendous amounts of urgency. If something's open for a year, no one's gonna get around to actually checking that out. But if it's only open for a certain amount of time, a window of opportunity, as I love to say, right? This is the duration that I am talking about. So we'll just say for sake that you decide to have a 30-day campaign duration, okay? The next thing you're gonna have is a goal. So if you're trying to bring this new project, this new thing into the world, how much money do you need to really make an impact in that, to actually move forward with this project? That is the funding goal that we are talking about, the funding goal. And it is so important that you set a realistic goal. Now, there's a lot of reasons behind that to go beyond this, the topic of today's video, but you want to set a very realistic goal if you can, right? So when you get to that goal, that's a major milestone event. But actually, a lot of crowdfunding campaigns are what are called overfunded. Okay, this is a term. A lot of campaigns are overfunded of their goal. And this is actually really natural. So you might be setting, like, for example, like a $20,000 goal, and you see this Indiegogo campaign and it's raised $200,000. That is extremely common when it comes to Indiegogo and crowdfunding and Kickstarter, right? So the goal is how much you need, but it's not necessarily the end amount that you're actually going for, if that makes sense. So that being said, you're setting your goal. What's another variable when it comes to running an Indiegogo campaign and how Indiegogo works? It's really about understanding if you're doing what's called all or nothing, or what's called keep what you raise. I'm not gonna write all that. Keep what you raise, okay? And this is also known on Indiegogo terms of flex versus fixed funding, okay? So this is fixed versus flexible funding. And you can check more out on Indiegogo's page to actually kind of learn more about that. This is just a high level overview I'm trying to put together today. Had some extra time and some, in between some different coaching calls, I was like, I gotta bang out a video on this. Okay, so fixed versus flexible funding. What does that mean? Let's just say that you're hitting a $10,000 goal, right? You set a $10,000 goal. If you raise more than $10,000, you're gonna be able to keep your funds that you have raised, whether it's Kickstarter or Indiegogo. However, early in its existence, Indiegogo made a bit of a departure from Kickstarter, the other major crowdfunding site out there. And they said, hey, we want to make it so that if a creator sets a $10,000 goal, but they only raise 5K, we want that creator to actually be able to keep the funds they've raised, right? In that way. So this is where all or nothing versus keep what you've raised kind of comes into play. So all or nothing is the 10K, you gotta hit or exceed your goal with $10,000, right? If you are doing an all or nothing campaign on Kickstarter or Indiegogo, you need to either hit or exceed that $10,000 amount in order to keep the funds that you've raised and to have all those backers' credit cards charged, right? The people that are supporting your campaign. If you have a keep what you raise model, which is also known as flexible funding on Indiegogo, then you can set that $10,000 goal, and if you only raise $2,000, you can still keep those funds. This is a major critical difference from Kickstarter, because Kickstarter doesn't allow you to do that, right? So this is a really big difference. So you're gonna be, again, going through this, so you have your campaign, you have the duration, you have the goal, you have decided between fixed and flexible funding, what kind of funding option you want, and there are other videos I got out there kind of walking you through the differences between those and why you might wanna choose one over the other. These are some of the things that first of all go into an Indiegogo campaign. But really, how the heck does it work? How can these guys afford to be in business? Let's talk a tiny bit about that. So they charge a fee, okay? Indiegogo charges a fee. And there are different types of programs that they have where the fee actually changes, but for most programs out there, it's a 5% fee, and also they charge credit card processing. And this is kind of in line with what Kickstarter charges at the time recording this video as well. So this fee is based on if you have a successful campaign. If you successfully raise money and the funds are deposited into your bank account, they are going to take a fee. They're going to take a 5% fee of those funds that have been raised, as well as the credit card processing fee. This is kind of like their ability to have the ecosystem, giving you the page, all that kind of stuff, making it really easy to raise money. You're thanking them by giving them that 5% fee. Different crowdfunding sites out there have different models, but this is a very common one when it comes to rewards-based crowdfunding. So first of all, at this point in the video, you should be thinking, okay, this is slowly starting to come together. There's still some things I don't understand, Sal, okay? You gotta go through some of these things a little bit more nitty-gritty, but you should be kind of getting a little bit of an idea of how this will work. You are a creator, you've invented something new, you're launching this campaign into the Indiegogo marketplace. You're also doing your own marketing, of course, which I talk about in other videos. You have your video, you have your pitch, you have everything together, you have that set duration, right, that we talked about, you have the goal, you're moving towards that goal, you're even surpassing it, and then you can either keep those funds that you've raised, or if you didn't hit your goal and you did that kind of funding mechanism, then you might not be able to, right? But you can always run another campaign. There's no limit to the number of Indiegogo campaigns that you can raise. At this point in the video, this should be a little bit more clear to you. However, there is one key thing that I think that I really didn't cover in this video, and that's why the heck are people backing projects, right? Why are people, supporting you online? Why are they actually being willing to invest in a campaign, or if you want to call it back a campaign, or pledge money to a campaign, or become a backer of yours? Why are they willing to do this, right? The big answer here is what are called rewards, also known as perks. Okay, so what ends up happening is, it's very rare in life when someone just decides to give you money, right? We call it charity. We call it someone giving you money they're trying to have a higher cause or an impact in life. I've actually had people reach out to me wanting to give money through this channel, which is insane, I think. And you can always support me by checking out my books and my courses and all that kind of stuff. Rewards and perks are the reasons why people want to give you money. Strangers want to give you money online when it comes to Indiegogo and when it comes to crowdfunding. So what the heck are these things, right? These are basically items which you make available when someone backs your campaign. When they become a supporter, when they become a backer, it's called, right? When they pledge money to your campaign and decide, yes, I want to support this campaign on Indiegogo, they get access to these rewards and perks. Now, those rewards and perks are very different from campaign to campaign. Sometimes it's the actual physical gadget or gizmo that you've invented. So you're promising, hey, if you back this project, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to invent and make this product. And when it's made, I'm going to ship it to you. You're going to get it right to your doorstep. Okay, you're going to get it in the mail. You're going to open it up and you can use this thing, be the first to own one of these products. What else? If you're doing a film campaign, I helped an individual recently with a film campaign, right? You could also do other things when it comes to offering a producer's credit, right? Or offering, hey, you can come to the film premiere. You can meet some of the actors, right? You can even maybe contribute a line of dialogue. Do you want to be an extra in the film? You can even be an extra in the film. There are different creative ideas which you can have. You can talk to people like myself and others to come up with interesting rewards and perks so that when you go live, you have people instantly wanting to grab those things because they are so exclusive. And there's that, again, that duration nature. It's a limited time in which you're running this project, okay? So rewards and perks are the reasons why strangers are willing to back a campaign. And there's a lot more that goes into it, but again, this is just very high level right now. Want to take all the stress out of fulfilling your Kickstarter rewards? Fulfillrite is the turnkey solution that puts product delivery on autopilot. The top campaigns use this trusted high-tech provider to store, package, and ship their products. Focus on growing your business. Leave shipping to the experts. Don't wait. Get a custom quote from Fulfillrite today. Link in the description. The last thing that I want to go over on today's video is kind of what happens after this. So let's just say, you're running this campaign, you got a sense of how this is working, you run a campaign, you get some funding, right? What really happens next, right? Because that's kind of the big question here. And there are so many different products out there in the audience. If you have an interesting product, leave a comment down below and let us know, like, what kind of product are you working on? Are you working on a new book, working on a novel, working on a film project, working on a theater project? Are you doing something in the creative category? Are you doing something more in the community category? Are you doing something more in the technology and gadget and innovation? Leave a comment down below because it's great. It's motivational. I love seeing people working on new projects. It is so exciting. And it is such a breath of fresh air from people who are just talking, and they're not doing anything, right? I think that's one thing that separates crowdfunders from other people that are out there, is that you are actually a creator. You're actually taking steps in order to get this idea onto a sketch on a napkin, right? In order to create the initial prototype, in order to get photos of it, and to bring something from your head into the real world, man, that takes guts. That takes persistence, right? That really tests your resolve if you want this to exist. And more importantly, do other people deserve to have this product, right? Because if it is a great product, it benefits everyone. It's an incredible karma cycle. That being said, I'm getting on a tangent, right? So let's talk about this. Okay. So when it comes to the Indiegogo campaign, what happens next, right? What happens after this campaign is fully funded and you got the cash deposit in your bank account, you're so excited, all your friends are talking about this, right? Your significant other's like, this is insane, I can't believe you wasted 2 months doing this, but this is great, right? You can finally join them for dinner maybe, or whatever it is. You're not working on your hobby every single day, like after work and on weekends. That being said, right, what happens next? What happens next is that you gotta fulfill these perks in these rewards. So the people who back your project are kind of expecting, all right, now this dude is gonna start shipping out those products eventually, and it might happen in 3 months, might happen in 6 months, whatever it is, right? Those perks and rewards are going to be fulfilled, we call it, right? It might even happen in a month. It's gonna depend from category to category and from individual to individual and the stage of your prototype, etc. But those people are expecting at some point in time for those rewards to be delivered. And the more that you can do that, it's going to really help with something that I call social capital, okay? So we're gonna put this here. We're gonna end this kind of here. Social capital, okay? This is the currency of online business. Social capital is the reason why people will launch campaigns again and again and again and keep getting funding, man. It's because they have incredible social capital, because they fulfilled on their rewards before. And then their backers know if you come out with a new product, you're also gonna fulfill on the rewards. So social capital is a fancy word. We could also say brand, right? Your brand credibility, if you wanna put it that way, your trustworthiness, right? Those kinds of things. But if you build that with a successful Indiegogo campaign, it's virtually guaranteed that these people, your community that you've built up, is gonna support the further creations, the further product ideas, the further things that you're making. So this is not about a one-time sale, okay? This is not about that. This is about a lifelong journey where you can keep coming back if you want to this funding source to fund new product ideas. And how freaking cool is that? I've had people on my podcast, the Crowdfunding Demystified podcast. You can search my name, Salvador Briggman, on iTunes and Spotify, or just listen on the YouTube channel, and you can come up with that. And you will see people who have launched 5, 6, 7, 10, 20 campaigns on Kickstarter and on Indiegogo. So to me, the big thing, the whole thing that kind of wraps all of this together is what I call community, okay? So community is why this is so freaking powerful, man. It's all about community, okay? When you build community, you have like this next level, what I'm gonna call like competitive advantage over everyone else. It's so cool, it's great, right? You have this incredible competitive advantage among other creators, and you can keep coming back to that community. I even have my own micro community when it comes to my mastermind, where I'm helping with group coaching and these different things, right? Within my own tribe. So community is powerful for you, it's powerful for me, it's powerful for everyone. And this is a great way in order to launch a campaign, get funding, validate the product idea, get really cool marketing assets, get people backing this, right? Delivering the product, getting feedback on it, and building a tribe, building a community, getting media mentions, all those things. This is why people keep coming back to Indiegogo again and again and again. So if you want to learn more about this, I'm going to include a free course down below where you can learn a little bit about this. Also maybe include the link to my newsletter. I got some other great videos out there. I really invite you to dive in. And finally, I have a good book out there that I would say was probably one of the best books out there when it comes to crowdfunding, which is the Kickstarter Launch Formula. Now, I got started in this industry back in 2012, and I codified how all of this works way beyond just this high-level view. I'm talking about, the actual engine behind a crowdfunding campaign that delivers rivers of traffic to get tons of funding on one of these projects. And it's a very unique system that I talk about. So if you're interested, go and check out the Kickstarter Launch Formula, which also applies to Indiegogo. They're very similar in nature, these two platforms. So thank you so much for listening. My name is Salvador Briggman. Hope you enjoyed my video. Hope you enjoy a little bit of my funny kind of teaching style. I like to have fun with things, and also that you can read my handwriting. Leave a comment down below if you did enjoy this. Give me a thumbs up, and I will see you next time.